Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk to you about the WL Toys V911 and a detune for it to make it a little more docile, plus a little tail motor fix I came up with. It works really well. So I've got two of them. These are both my demo units. Actually, I call this one the beater because I beat the living hell out of this thing, and this was actually bought as a spare, just in case this ever got beyond repair and I didn't feel like rebuilding it. I mean, every part that you can imagine is available for this thing, so yeah, you can rebuild it a million times over, you know, but I wanted a spare anyway, so I got one. But anyhow, so on my little beater here, we're going to pull the canopy off. We detuned it, and it's pretty simple, easy to do. Now if you look where my servo link bars are, they're on the far inside now, instead of on the outside. Now they come on the outside from the factory, and in mode 1 this thing's actually pretty quick, even indoors, and really super quick on mode 2. Okay, so you've got two flight modes to this thing. You've got beginner and advanced, right? And the advanced can get a little nutty. So indoors, especially with mode 2, yeah, that's going to be really nutty. Mode 1 is actually really decent indoors, but I thought, you know what, let's see if we can slow this thing down a little bit more, because I've had a lot of crashes. Not that I'm a bad pilot, I'm a good pilot, but even the best of us have crashes. Just happens. But I figured by slowing it down a bit, might make it a little bit more indoor friendly even on the mode 1, and maybe I won't crash as often. Now I did try flying this outside since I did the detune, and it actually still flies really well outdoors. In mode 1 or mode 2, and mode 2 is not quite as hyperactive as it used to be. So it does work. It is a good little thing to do, and very simple and easy. All you got to do is take your link rod here and pop it off the swash plate like so, and then you just bend and manipulate it so that it'll come out very easily. So just be careful, don't bend the actual rod itself. So it takes a little bit of, you know, twisting around and moving around. You can get it out of there, and then you move it to the inside. And you do it for both of them, because you have to do both. Just the way the laws of physics happen to work, because if you don't, it's not going to fly so well. So do both, put them on the insides, and it will make this thing a lot more docile. Okay? Now as far as the stock setup goes, I've left my other one alone completely. So you can see your stock setup, the links are on the outside. Okay, now just to give you a little idea of how much this thing throws the servo around and the links, we'll fire it up here. Okay, so I'm in mode 1, and to move both the links up as far as I can go, I'm actually in the bottom right hand corner for this, so they go up quite far. But you do have, between the top of the swash plate and your, I don't even know the technical name for it, but it's your upper connecting setup, there's a lot more room than there normally is. Okay? So you can see the difference. Now that's all the way up. Okay, now, let's see if we get this to go all the way down. And there's all the way down, and you can see your attack angles. Okay, now let's go to the other one, stock setup. I'll show you the difference. Let's just plug this one in, and while that's binding, I'll put my canopy back on here. Alright. So there's all the way down. This is stock setup. And there's all the way up. Now this is mode 1. We're still on mode 1 here. Let's go to mode 2. That's down to the far right. And that's top left cornering. So you can see your different angles, your spacings. Okay, now let's go back to the original one. So yeah, I guess I should have left my canopy off. So we'll take it back off. Only takes a second to pop it off. Okay, so there's our bottom right setup. And top left. Top left. Spacings. Okay, so there is a noticeable difference between mode 1 and mode 2. There is a noticeable difference between having them stock set up on the outside versus detuned on the inside. Okay, so it's going to help if you're having a hard time with a stock setup. It is definitely going to help to detune it by moving those link bars to the inside. So next thing we'll do, I'll put my canopy back on here. Now I will do a flight video for you guys when the wind dies down. Today is just like way too windy for this thing. So no flying today. Now, the tail motor at the back. Little fix for you. All you need is some 5/16 inside diameter shrink tubing. This stuff is very, very inexpensive and it works beautiful. If you take a look at your own helicopter right now, you'll see where the wires are opened and access to them. Now when you get some tail crashes going on, or you get maybe caught up on something, I mean, you can break those wires off, and I've actually pulled the caps right out of the backs of the motors. Okay, so I've gone through a few motors on this, but that's life, right? Now this particular heli, no, it's actually this one that I went through all the motors on. But anyway, so by putting the heat shrink tubing on there, all you got to do is measure it up to about this point, and then cut just ahead, like, you know, bend it over and feel for it. Take your best guess at length, and leave just a hairball of overhang just to go over the end piece a little bit. Okay, you don't need much. And it's going to protect the wires right around through the front and right where they wrap up to the motor. The only exposed wire left is, I mean, right at the very end, but I mean, nothing's going to hit that. And the chances of getting caught up in the corner is pretty slim. So, I mean, it does offer a lot of protection. Now, one thing I did notice by putting this shrink wrap tubing on is I did have to switch my banking maneuver control over one click towards the left. So that was okay by me. And really, one little click wasn't a whole lot of effect, but it was enough to straighten this one out. And this one, I combined it with the same click setting, and this one is actually not affected at all. So, I mean, every heli is going to fly different with different setups, and this one's just not all that picky. So, works for me. So, that's your tail motor fixed for the back. This is going to save you a lot on tail motors, because on my little beater machine, which now has a different type of tail motor cage, I actually ordered for V911, and this is what they sent me the first time. I've since reordered and gotten separate booms, separate motor mount, separate motors, all that sort of stuff. And so we definitely have the right stuff. Now, I kind of figured this couldn't have been for a V911 because my wires were too short coming out the other end of the tube. So I actually had to, before I changed it, I had to make sure I left some excess wire coming off the PCB board in order to connect my wires up. So that was fine by me. I didn't care. Works for me. I mean, hey, it's all part of the hobby, right? Now, so I don't have to do that kind of a protection setup to this heli because these are really super protected. You know, I mean, nothing's going to get at those, and nothing's been able to get at these. And I've had a lot of crashes with this beater machine. But, you know, you got to have a beater to learn on, and then you get yourself a spare one of these as a bind and fly, and keep it on the shelf until you're done beating the living hell out of this one. And then you can impress your friends and yourself flying one that's totally new and not wiping it out or wiping it out so often, right? But you can rebuild these things a million times. Every single part for these things that makes this thing a helicopter, all those parts are available. You can just rebuild, 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 rebuild all you want, and the parts are cheap. So hey, you know what? It's great. Gotta love it. And these boom shafts, by the way, guys, are actually metal. They're not plastic or carbon fiber. They're actually metal, and they're square tubing, and square tubing takes a lot more harder impacts than what a round tubing can. So, you know, I mean, I've never even bent one of these tubings out of shape yet, even from my worst crash. So anyway, so there you go. So you got your little detune for you. Got your fix for your tail motor for your stock original setup. A little bit of shrink wrap goes a long way. Works great. I'm sure some of you have probably noticed, if you took a look at my remote, I don't have the original control knobs. This is actually one of them, and the other one is actually broken. I had a bit of a panic attack when I was flying out in the wind and hit the stick down too fast and too hard, and I snapped it. That kind of sucked, so I got to fix that one anyway. But I had enough spare remotes around here kicking around, and believe it or not, the Aldi Cyclone remote looks like this. Okay, I still actually have a bunch of these for sale. That's where these new controllers came out of. And you know, they sit a little bit down, which is nice, because I'm guaranteed if I get a jam up, it's going to be from a buggered spring in the switch. So, you know, and that's not easily going to happen on remotes. So, you know, but it does allow me that free movement. It hasn't affected any of my control. I still got all the same control amounts as I had before, so no problem. Even though these are a little bit narrower dish on them, it's not a big issue. Worked out great. I first tried these ones, and they were actually too tall, so it was jamming it up. So I don't even remember what I took this one out of. I can't remember, but I thought I grabbed one of these off the shelf and figured, hey, I need control knobs. And these ones, they fit perfect. They're the same hookups, and they're narrower, and they sit a little bit lower, which is nice, so I get even better release on my stick movements. So I don't have to worry about anything ever gumming up in there and jamming it, so that works for me. So in case you're wondering, that's what happened to my original sticks. And I kind of like these ones too. They're actually built a little bit heavier duty than these ones. So I thought, hey, double bonus there. You know, more heavier duty works for me. You know, and the fact that there's no interference also works for me too. It's awesome. So that's it. Covered pretty much everything there. If you have any questions, comments, you know, hey, feel free to ask. The link to my website is also going to be in this video, so if you want to check out my website, see what we got for sale, then you can check that out too. And we'll catch you on the next video.